Hello and welcome to the start of a new Cosy reading vlog, everyone. I'm really looking forward to telling you a bit about what I've been reading lately, also showing you a bit of behind the scenes of my life this week. I'm actually starting this vlog on a Sunday. It's just midday and I've had a really lovely relaxing morning, which I have to say was much needed because it's been very hectic lately and I've also been under the weather, but I'm feeling so much better now, which is really nice. But we've had crazy weather here in Yorkshire. Yesterday we didn't have power. Well, actually our power cut started on Friday afternoon and continued until Saturday afternoon. So I can't tell you just how grateful I am feeling today for the basics in life, like hot water and being able to cook our food and make a cup of tea. So yes, that was a bit dramatic, but it's still quite windy out there, but fortunately the storm seems to be abating, so hopefully we won't have any more power cuts this week, which would be really good. But it has been busy. I think since I last did a vlog, I have done 2 book events in Yorkshire. One was at the lovely Kemp's Books in Malton. So fun to meet everyone who came to that. And then the other I just did just this last Thursday at my local bookshop, which is the very charming The Little Ripon bookshop. Again, it was absolutely wonderful to meet everyone who came to that. It was just such a lovely cozy chat. Jill, one of the owners of the bookshop, asked me such great questions and I got a chance to chat to people after, and I was signing books, and Jill had very kindly baked a homemade cake, which was wonderful, and we had tea and everyone got a chance to mingle and chat a bit too, which was so much fun. So yes, it's been busy, but some really nice happenings. But this morning I was just really thankful to have a bit of an easy morning with no drama, no power cuts, nothing like that happening. And it's sort of noon now. I'm going to make just something really simple, but hopefully nice for lunch. I have some figs that desperately need using up. And I was having a look in this cookbook, which I really like. It's called Fruitful by Sarah Johnson. Sweet and savoury fruit recipes inspired by farms, orchards and gardens. Really lovely cookbook. And I wanted to try this recipe for fig anchoyade, which I think is a Provençal recipe. And normally it's served sort of with an aperitif before supper, but I thought it would also be just nice for a light lunch. It's a kind of spread made with figs and anchovies, olive oil. So I happen to have everything for it, which is really good. And like I said, I have figs that I really need to use up. I've got some bread that needs using up. So I thought it would be nice to do this as a light lunch. So yes, I'm looking forward to this. The only thing I don't have is sort of whole, like blanched almonds, but as you pound them up until they're finely broken anyway, I do have flaked almonds. So I'm just going to use those and just toast them a little bit. The recipe says to put the almonds in the oven, but because I'm just doing flaked almonds, I'm just going to toast them on the stove top in a frying pan. But yeah, it sounds really nice, and it's a nice sunny day here. Even if it's windy and a little bit nippy, it's really nice and bright and sunny. So doing a little light lunch like this just seems really good. But I do have lots to catch you up on, like what I've been reading and all of that. But I think I'm going to get on with making lunch first because I'm hungry. So I'll show you how I do it. The recipe calls for some time, so I've just cut a little bit from the garden and picked up some of the pots that have blown over because it's just been so windy. But yes, lovely sunshine today, so that's really nice. So I think traditionally you would do this in a pestle and mortar, and that's what the recipe says to do. but mine is really very small. It's more for grinding spices and things, so I don't think it will work for this recipe. So I'm going to put that to one side for now. But what I do love is just this little mini food processor, and I think that will work just fine. So first I'm going to blend together the garlic cloves and the anchovies. And the thyme leaves go into. I've just stripped the leaves from the stalk. I'll leave actually a few just to scatter on top. I'm using a bit more thyme than the recipe calls for because I actually love thyme. I'm just going to scrape the sides down a bit as I go. It'll definitely take a while for me to pound this up by hand, but this makes it nice and easy. Okay, that's good for now. I'm going to get on with just chopping up the figs. I've got very ripe figs because I got these a little while ago and they definitely need using up now. So I'm just going to trim off the ends and then give them a rough chop. I love figs, but I don't always know what to do with them. So it's nice to have a recipe that will hopefully be quite simple to pull together, but that really makes use of figs because they're one of the delights of early autumn. I mean, I love just eating a fig or having a fig and goat's cheese salad, but to do something a little bit different is also a lot of fun. So I'm hoping this will turn out well and will be a favourite. I really like adding recipes into my repertoire and building up a repertoire of recipes over time. And I have so many different cookbooks. I love to use lots of different ideas and recipes, but something I've started to try to do is to note down in a notebook just some of my very favourite dishes, dishes that I call my repertoire dishes that I become very comfortable at making, that are big favourites. And because I get recipes from all over the place, I've found it really useful to just jot down the ones I particularly like into a notebook, even if I'm just referencing where the recipe is from and which cookbook. It's just really handy. And I got this idea of building a repertoire of one's recipes from Bea Wilson, who's one of my favourite food writers in the UK. I think she's brilliant. And she's written about this idea of building your own repertoire of recipes for different occasions, different types of food too. So like I'm trying to build a repertoire of easy weeknight dishes as well as dishes I might make more for when we have people over, you know, company ones, but also just little ideas like this, a repertoire of recipes for seasonal ingredients, for instance. And I always like recipes that are easy to pull together. So let's hope this one ends up being one that I think I might put into my repertoire. So I've got my figs chopped up, look at that gorgeous colour, and I'm going to pop them in here as well. Just move my tea out of the way, have a sip. So appreciate being able to make a cup of tea again after that power cut. It really is about the simple things, isn't it? And you really notice when you have to do without them for a while. So I'm just going to pop the figs in and whiz them up as well with the olive oil I'll add into and the red wine vinegar. Right, so in goes the red wine vinegar. This is such a pretty colour. Just looks gorgeous. Smells good too. Olive oil going in. This just looks so yummy. Almost forgot the almonds, but in they go now. So it's blended up nicely in this little food processor. I'm going to taste a little bit to see if I need to add salt or any other seasoning. That's so good. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of salt, but it really doesn't need much. I love the flavours. Figs is just delicious. I'm going to spoon it actually into a bigger bowl. I've got a pretty one here. And can't wait for Mum to try this. I think she'll like it. And it will remind us of time in Provence, as this is meant to be traditional Provençal. It's not traditional to do it with figs, I don't think. Normally it's anchovies, I think maybe capers, and olive oil and garlic. But I have to say, I adore the addition of the figs. It makes it such a pretty colour too. Really lovely autumnal colour, I have to say. So here's lunch, all plated up. I've just done a little salad with the leftover figs and some rocket and feta for us, and some toast drizzled with olive oil, and can't wait to dive in. So here we are, ready for lunch. Doesn't this look nice?
It looks amazing, and this looks absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
I'm so glad you found a way to use up the figs, because I was thinking, oh, I should, maybe do a salad or something, Yes. And this is a bit different.
Well, it's lovely. First time I've tried making anchoyade, so I'm looking forward to trying it.
Wonderful.
But you go first. Tell me what you think.
It will. It looks delicious. And anchovies, of course, in this.
Yes. Yeah. Which we like anchovies, don't
really
we?
Like anchovies. Yeah. This would be great, wouldn't it, if you had people for like sherry and just a few nibbles. It would be lovely. I think it would go so well with that.
Yes, it would. It'd be really nice for a little aperitif.
Yeah, it would.
But I thought it would also be nice for a light lunch.
Yes,
today.
exactly. Exactly. Okay, I can tell you what I think.
Yes, do.
Oh wow.
Do you like it?
I really like it.
Try a bit too on my toast.
Isn't that a winner?
I love the combination of flavours.
Oh, it's delicious. Really delicious.
I forgot forks for our salad.
I can go get forks for us.
I'll get them.
Okay. It's really very, very nice, and
I know. I love the fruitiness of the figs really comes out. And it's lovely,
does.
but it just
Oh no,
blends so well with everything.
I actually like it better than the traditional.
Isn't
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because I think it's absolutely perfect this time of year, and the colour is heavenly.
I noticed that. It's such an autumnal colour. Well, I think it's safe to say
It's a winner.
it's a winner. What I'm going to add to my repertoire.
What a good idea.
Cheers. Oh, sparkling water.
Sparkling water, but there we are. Cheers to us all.
Cheers. So we've come for an after lunch stroll in the garden we have access to.
Yes.
And it's lovely to take advantage. The wind has dropped a bit now, hasn't it?
Definitely has.
It's dropped a lot. Yes. And even from this morning. So we're enjoying just being able to get out and enjoy having a walk. It's really beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It's so lovely, and I look up and I see all the apples above us.
Yes.
And it's just gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just nice on a Sunday to have
a bit more time to come and have a relaxed stroll around, isn't it?
And enjoy nature here in the garden. It's just so lovely. You can hear the birds. There are lots of swallows still. That really
Yes, I don't know if
surprised
they're.
me.
I don't know if they were swallows or swifts.
Oh,
I'm
now
not
that
sure.
I don't know, because I wasn't looking carefully enough.
No,
I'm sure
but
to
yes,
know.
definitely. I think one or the other.
Yeah.
And that did surprise me. But they were
Yes.
sort of flying about earlier. So lovely still to see them. But yes, you can really hear the birds in the garden. It's lovely to just listen to them, and yes, just enjoy being out in nature and having a lovely, relaxed Sunday afternoon.
That's the life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're back in from our walk, which was really lovely, and I've just had a cup of tea, and now I want to just sort of put in an hour's work on my second book, and yes, just enjoy doing that this afternoon, and then look forward to a nice quiet evening. So I'm going to go and do a bit of work now, but I'll either catch up with you later today or tomorrow. Hello everyone, it's now Monday and I'm just having a refreshing cup of tea and a little break. It's been a busy day so far. I didn't sleep very well last night. I think I ended up working a bit too late on Sunday evening, but I worked some more on my book this morning, which is good. I like to start the week with getting some work done on it. And Mum and I also recorded a podcast chatting about what we've been reading lately for Seasons of Story members. So that will be going up today. And yes, it's been actually quite a nice day. It's sunny out, which is really nice. And I do actually want to tell you about some of the books that I've been reading, and actually some exciting things came in the post today, but I think that's all downstairs. So I'm just going to finish my cup of tea, have a little rest a minute, maybe read a poem or something and just sort of chill for a little bit, and then I'm going to catch you up on what I'm reading right now, what I've just finished, and yes, what came in the post. Okay, I just wanted to show you what came in the post first because a few things arrived that I'm really excited about. I know it's a little bit early to start thinking about Christmas and winter, but I love the artwork of Polly Mabel. She does the most beautiful prints and original artworks that you can find on her Etsy shop, but sometimes she also does cards, and I saw that she had just updated her shop with some cards, and I thought these would just be perfect for Christmas cards or just winter holiday cards, or this one for January I think is beautiful with just the snowdrops, and then this one's a bit more Christmassy, I think. And I adore snowdrops, so I really wanted to get these. I actually have a print of hers that has snowdrops, and it's just so beautiful. So I was thrilled to get some of her lovely cards. I'll link everything down below, by the way, so you can always check the video description box for all my links. So yes, it's a set of I've got a set of 4 of this kind and 4 of the plain snowdrop kind. So really thrilled with those. They're a nice big size as well. And then I also love the artwork of Polly Fern, and I saw that she'd done an advent calendar, I think for the first time. So I had to order it, and it's just arrived. I don't want to open it up just yet, but you can see from the back what it will look like. Very signature Polly Fern style with the pastel colours and just the really lovely details in her interior. I think that's so sweet. And then the little whippet, absolutely adorable. I love the Christmas tree. So I can't wait to open this up in December on the 1st. Yes, absolutely thrilled with that one. And then I adore Polly Fern's cards as well. And again, I'd seen she'd done some really beautiful, unusual cards. I'll open this up so you can actually see. They're sort of 3D ones, which I think are just so pretty. So this one is like a tall vase. Let me just get it right. Yes, so it can stand up like this. And I just love the details. You can put a little message on the back. But I think that's just so pretty. I really adore that. So I love that one. And then I got this one, which is a similar thing. It unfolds to be a 3D card. Same with this one. And then I got one of her concertina cards. I was so thrilled when I saw she'd done a new one, because I have an old Polly Fern concertina card that I know a lot of you bought when I showcased it. And this is a new one that she's done, and I think that's so pretty. It's just really sweet to stand this up on top of a mantelpiece or on top of my bookcase or desk. I like to use it in my photos. So yeah, pretty cards are always one of my things, and I love to use them in my photography as well. So I was really thrilled to get those. So that's a little stationery update. And then I thought I would just catch you up on what I've been reading a bit as well. So I have been reading a couple of books in the sort of back to school spirit. By the same author. So I've read Seraphina by Mary K. Harris and Penny's Way by her as well. And I really enjoyed these. They're a little bit later than the vintage school stories that I often read. These are written more in the 1960s. And a lot of the ones that I like and collected from my childhood were written more in the interwar years. But if any of you know the school stories by Antonia Forrest, like Autumn Term, End of Term, and so on, Girls Gone By have been republishing them. So some of you might know Antonia Forrest books. These are kind of in a similar vein. Forrest wrote a lot more realistic school stories where the girls aren't always,
very nice. The teachers aren't always very nice either. Characters are a lot more nuanced. The nice people aren't nice all the time. The bad people aren't bad all of the time. You know, they're just a lot more like real life. They're a lot more realistic. And Mary Kay Harris wrote stories a bit more in that style as well. So they're more sort of realistic school stories. But I still find them really charming, and I really enjoyed reading Serafina and also Penny's Way by her. So I really enjoyed those. And then Persephone Books very kindly sent me Hop, Step and Jump by Winifred Watson. And this title's being released on October 16th, but you can pre-order it now from Persephone Books. They're publishing this to celebrate 25 years since they published Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day, which is also by Winifred Watson. Miss Pettigrew is, I think, like the best-selling book published by Persephone Books, and it's a real favourite of mine. I think it was the first Persephone book I ever read. So I've got really fond memories of my first time reading Miss Pettigrew, and also that it was my introduction to Persephone books, and I've gone on and read so many wonderful ones and even worked for a time at Persephone Books in London in my early 20s, so lots of fond memories. And it all started with Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day. So I was really keen to read this other book, also by Winifred Watson. And I enjoyed it. It's really different from Miss Pettigrew. Miss Pettigrew is a very sort of sweet, light-hearted, Cinderella-esque type story. Though it's got a bit of a twist because it's a Cinderella story, but featuring a much older female character than is typical in that kind of fairy tale-like story. Hop, Step and Jump features a younger heroine, but it has much darker themes to this book than Miss Pettigrew does. There are themes on domestic violence, what it was like, the sort of realities of lower working class life for young women. The heroine of this book, Jenny, is a really likable character. You're really rooting for her all through the story as she sort of tries to navigate her love life, finding the right man for her, but also her working life. And there is a really satisfying conclusion to this story where she both finds love and she also starts her own business. So that's really interesting. So there is a happy ending to this, but like I said, it also explores some darker themes and really quite an unusual and radical book, I think, in the themes that it explores. It was first published in 1939, but I'm really pleased that Persephone brought it back. And I also read, actually, while we had the power cut, I had fortunately had my Kindle charged, and I didn't have a lot of books downloaded on it. And actually, in order to sort of open up and read a book on a Kindle, it needs to be downloaded first. You can't do that if you don't have internet. So I was a bit limited to what I could choose to read on my Kindle, but I had downloaded A Schooling in Murder by Andrew Taylor. So I decided to read that, and thank goodness that I could still read. Same for Mum. She's bereft if her Kindle doesn't work or isn't charged. So fortunately it was charged and we could both still read in the evenings when it was too dark to just read by the sun. So I was still able to read, and actually it was a real page turner. So I read the book in a few hours, really. I finished it over the time that we had the power cut. And this book is set during, it's set at the very end of World War II in 1945, so the spring of 1945. And it's an unusual murder mystery. It's set in a girls' boarding school, and the narrator is actually a ghost of a teacher at the school who has been murdered. She's not sure who's killed her. She was sort of just shoved off a cliff and didn't know who did it. But she knows that she's been murdered and she wants to find her murderer. So the premise I thought was really good.
I was a bit disappointed by the actual mystery because I guessed who the killer was really early on, and it just seemed quite obvious. And I like mysteries where there is that twist at the end that really takes you by surprise, or even if you kind of begin to suspect who it might be, you're still not quite sure, or you're not quite sure of the motive. With this one, the motive is kind of kept hidden because you don't know all the facts until later in the book, but I could still kind of just guess that there was something going on. So even like the motive didn't really surprise me. So I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I did enjoy the setting, the sort of girls' boarding school. There were some really unpleasant characters actually, and then some nicer characters. But yes, I was a bit let down by the mystery, but it was definitely a page-turning read. So I was thankful to that book for keeping me gripped and turning the pages during a power cut. That was very good. And then I've got a few books on the go actually as well. One is Mrs. Martle by Elizabeth Elliot. This is the first Elizabeth Elliot book that I've read. It's a Dean Street Press book, and they've published a few of hers, I think at least 3 or 4 other books by her. But this is the first one that I've tried. I'm not loving it, I have to say. I've got about halfway through, and I've got another one by Elizabeth Elliot to try on my Kindle. I've got Alice by her on my Kindle, and I might give that one a try. I tried to finish this book, but it's just really not grabbing me. So I want to give one other book by this author a try, and if I don't like that one, then I just know that this isn't an author for me. This is a book about a very vain, shallow woman who has had one sort of first disastrous marriage, and she wants to marry again, but someone of a much sort of higher status. And she has set her sights on her cousin's husband, and she's determined to break up this marriage and marry the man herself. So it's really about a very unlikable character. I don't always need to like characters in a book in order to enjoy the book, but if a book is centered around a really unlikable character, then I think the writing has to be really, really strong to keep you gripped and to keep you wanting to find out what actually happens to this character. And I don't think the writing is strong enough with this to be keeping me gripped. So a bit disappointing so far. And I picked up this one as a sort of light seasonal read, An Autumn Crush by Millie Johnson. And this is, I don't normally read a lot of kind of modern romance, but I wanted to give this one a try because I think I'd read an article by Millie Johnson on Substack and had enjoyed it, so I thought I would try one of her books. And she's done a sort of seasonal quartet of different romances, one set in each season. I thought I would try the autumn one as we're in autumn, and yes, just give it a go. Haven't got very far yet, so yeah, I can't really say much about it yet. But so far it seems like quite a cozy read. So I've got this one on the go. And then I'm also rereading The Proper Place by O. Douglas. This was republished by Grey Ladies. I do have hardbacks of her books too, but I also have some paperbacks that were republished that I use as like good reading copies. So I'm reading this one, which has quite an autumnal feel to it to me because O. Douglas was Anna Buchan. She was the sister of John Buchan. Lots of her books are set in Scotland, including this one, and it pretty much starts in the autumn, and it's just got that lovely sort of Scottish autumnal kind of setting, and I really love that. She wrote light romances essentially. So I just enjoy her stories. They're very sweet and cozy. So this one's a reread for me. And then I have had a few books arrive in the post, and one was given to me that I thought I would just share with you quickly. They are Christmassy, I'm afraid, but I am starting to think ahead a bit to my Christmas reading. This was the one that was given to me very kindly by Jill, one of the owners of the Little Ripon bookshop, when I did my event there last week. Jill gave me this book, which was really lovely of her. It was one that was on my wish list, and I asked if they had it, because I was going to buy it from them, but they really kindly just gave it to me. And it's The 12 Days of Christmas by Susan Stokes Chapman. And I've only just glanced at the beginning, because I'm sort of saving this up for a December read, but these are a set of short stories kind of inspired by the carol, The 12 Days of Christmas, and they're set in Regency England. And at least from the very beginning, I thought that the authors really captured the style of writing and the tone of Regency England. It's very Jane Austen-esque, so far anyway, and just really appealing. So actually, I've got a couple other Susan Stokes Chapman books on my Kindle. I just got Pandora by her, which I think was on for just 99p. So I don't know if that will still be that price, but that offer might still be on. So I thought I would pick it up for that. And that's also set in Regency England. And then I can't remember the title of the other one that I got by her, but I think it has key in it, something like The Shadow Key or something like that. And that seems like it might be quite a good read for sort of spooky season, because it seems to be about strange happenings in a British country house. I think it's set in Wales, with just odd occurrences happening. So that one I think I'm going to try and read quite soon, because I think it might be good for spooky season. But yeah, I thought this was just a gorgeous book, and I'm saving it up for December. Then I also got this book, The Christmas Clue by Nicola Upson. Again, one I'm saving for my Christmas reading, but I thought I'd let you know about it. And apparently this story is inspired by a real life couple, the couple who invented Cluedo, but it's also a real sort of classic English Christmas sort of country house type mystery. It's set on Christmas Eve 1943. So I do think Nicola Upson's a great writer, so I'm just looking forward to this. Hopefully it'll be a good Christmas mystery. And then the British Library very kindly sent me one of their latest crime classics, which is this one, Death in Ambush, A Lost Christmas Murder Mystery. So yes, you can see I've just got a few now that I'm piling up, waiting for December. I'm getting excited already. So I thought I would just share those with you too. But anyway, we've got a friend coming over sort of early this evening just to have a glass of wine and a catch-up. She's house sitting in the neighbourhood. So we said, come over and yes, just have a little aperitif with us. So I've popped a bottle of wine in the fridge, and Mum and I didn't finish all of the fig anchoyade yesterday. In fact, there was quite a lot left. So I saved it, and I'm going to have it this evening. We've got some little kind of like mini breadsticks that would be good to sort of just dip into it. We've got some olives, and then we'll have a glass of wine. So it should be nice to just have a little aperitif together, catch up a bit. And yes, really nice that I've already made the fig anchoyade, so I can just get that out of the fridge. I'm going to let it come to room temperature again before serving it, and I'll just scatter a bit more thyme and olive oil on top, and it should look good as new essentially. So looking forward to that, but I better start just bustling around a bit and getting things ready.
Here we are. I've just set up a little aperitif table for our guest. So I've got the leftover fig anchoyade and these little sort of dippy breadsticks, which would be good for them, a few olives, and ready to pour our wine soon. This wine is such a favourite. of ours. We get it from our local Majestic. We've got a few bottles because it's just such a favourite of ours, and it's nice to have on hand for occasions, like if we want to celebrate something or if a friend comes over. It's not a really fancy bottle, but it's just a little bit nicer than the ordinary wine that we might have. So I've got this wine out from the fridge, and yes, just looking forward to seeing our friend. Our friend is actually French, living in Yorkshire, but she's French. So I hope that she'll enjoy the little French touches with the wine and then the Provençal dish. Got a couple Angela Flanders candles lit as well. This lovely fig one, which is such a favourite of mine. Fig d'Or over here, and Zanzibar over here, amidst the piles of coffee table books that I've been looking at the moment. But so a nice cozy vibe.
Hello again, I'm just popping on to finish off this vlog. I think this one has got quite long now, so I'm just going to start a new one tomorrow or a bit later in the week, because actually tomorrow is my birthday and I really want a day off on my birthday this year. I definitely feel like that's the best gift to give to myself and something I'm really looking forward to. So I thought I would just pop on to finish off this vlog. I can then start the next one a bit later this week. But we had a really nice evening, lovely to see our friend, just nice to have a little aperitif and catch up together. The fig anchoyade went down really well, by the way, so yes, it's really nice when someone French actually likes the dish too, so that was wonderful, and yeah, she really loved it. So perfect little dip to serve with aperitifs, so yeah, really nice. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I look forward to seeing you in the next one very soon. Goodbye.